All right, we're live. I'm joined by my co-host, Black Knight. How you doing, Juwan? You doing good today?
I'm pretty black. Thank you.
And this is Just Your Average Joe. We're about to go over the brand new Moon Knight trailer that dropped a couple of days ago. I'm a couple of days late to the party.
Mhm.
Better late than never. Dropped during the Monday Night Football playoff game that we got. I believe around halftime. So
Yep.
we're going to go over that. I'm going to talk about a couple of other things in just a second. That's right. It is Talk Soup. Look, if I'm going to come up with a name, if I'm going to spend, I think it was maybe a couple of days. I don't think it was weeks, but if I'm going to spend a couple of days and come up with names for segments, I'm going to use them. God damn it.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense. All right. Let's not beat around the bush. We're gonna watch the trailer together. Then we're gonna talk about it. Talk about a couple other things that we might see in this series. I'm assuming the name of your name alludes to what we might see at one point during this series in Black Knight and a few other things. So let's get into it. Here we go. Pop that on the stream. And I'm playing on my other screen now.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
That's right.
I think I'm losing it.
Real catch you are. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks. Hold the phone. Now hold the phone.
2005's calling.
Oh my god, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark? It must be very difficult. The voice in your head. Shut up! There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.
All right. I know you've probably seen it several times. You've done your reaction to it the night it came out. I've watched it a shitload of times. Anything that you want me to go back? Because I kept it up on, and obviously it's coming out on March 30th, so it's coming out just over 2 months from now.
The end of Batman month.
Yeah, exactly. With the very end of Batman month, exactly. With a couple of days to spare.
Yep.
Any specific thing? That's why I'm going to leave it up. Now, I do want to go to this. Now, this wasn't shown in the original little clip that we got a couple of weeks or maybe a month ago. I forgot how far away it was. When he's pummeling what's on the ground, that's not there. That's not shown.
Right.
Now, it's really hard to make out unless you zoom in or whatever. It's definitely not human. And it's got what looks like a snout and pointy ears.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think maybe werewolf, because we're probably going to see werewolves at one point, or some of the gods of Egypt kind of look like that. So it could be something like that, or it could be something that's just in his fucking head and he's going nuts. But so you don't think it's a werewolf at all?
No.
It's the first thing I thought of was werewolf.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Obviously, we see the moon, the Egyptian god of Khonshu. He comes up a couple of times. When he's Oh, and that's also confirmed that it's not the same museum as in Eternals. It's in the same place, but it's not the same museum.
We never thought that though.
I didn't think it was going to be the same exact museum, but the fact that he was in London, and I mean, and I think that's, and you also have Black Knight as well as your name. You don't think that at one point we might see Dane in this?
Nope.
I feel like we're going to see Dane Whitman in this.
Nope, not at all. Because you gotta remember, he's not even there anymore. He's with Blade. He's wherever the hell Blade took him.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't even think we're going to get Blade in this?
No.
See,
I don't think Blade's recruiting. I think that Blade, no pun intended, I think that the sword spoke to Blade, and that's why he sought out Dane Whitman. But I don't think Blade's pulling a Nick Fury. I don't think he's recruiting the Midnight Suns.
There we go.
No,
that is a creepy fucking shot. You see the beak. He's got the staff at one point. That you see like in the foreground. I heard on your what do you call it? On your reaction. Let me get out of this. I'll keep it up, but I'll take it out of here for now.
Mm-hmm.
On your reaction, you said you were because I watched the whole thing afterwards. You're not crazy about the design, the mummified wrap?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a practical suit. There was no need to get cute with it. It's very practical. That's practical. That's just
how. But so if he's being possessed by an Egyptian god, right? And Egyptians are known for being mummified and wrapped and looking like that, almost like traditional garb. Even the what do you call it? The god of what do you call it? Khonshu, when he's coming after him, has wraps. When he holds the elevator door, he's got wraps around him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's more practical than a suit.
No, because no one ever says that about Batman.
No, but Batman. So here's the thing, though. You're forgetting, though. Batman suits up. Moon Knight transforms.
No.
The difference.
No, that's also a misconception. He does not transform. He transforms for this. Moon Knight that's a suit. He puts on a suit.
But in this iteration of it, he's transforming.
That's my problem. I get it. It is more practical. But no, just because it's from ancient Egypt, and the whole mummies and whatnot, no, because we would all thought that was stupid as hell if Batman literally looked like a bat and the suit was like had bat fur and what. We go, what the hell are you doing? Just put
but it does incorporate bats. It has the bat symbol. It has his cowl is shaped. He's got bat ears.
This suit here has the same thing, just not mummified.
I don't know. I'm all right with it. I am. And I'm also not, I'm listen to Jim. I really don't know anything about the character as much. I've known the character for over 30 years. But as far as reading anything about him in the comics or what he's about, I'm also just finding out that he has multiple personalities. I only thought it was Marc Spector that suits up as Moon Knight. I never knew that he had there's 5 personalities. You got Mr. Knight, you got Jake Lockley, you got Stephen Grant, you have Marc Spector, and of course you have Moon Knight. So there are 5.
Moon Knight doesn't
count as a personality.
Yeah, and Mr. Knight don't really count as a whole nother personality.
It's basically 3 personalities. He's got Marc Spector, Stephen Grant, and Jake Lockley. Yes. So to answer listen to Jim's question, yes. And he's got a personality disorder. He's got whether it's trauma from being a mercenary, I don't know what it is. Or does he have the personality disorder before he gets? No. This is all after he gets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets Khonshu in the comics as Mark. Mark is his true identity, correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So at least we've yeah.
So we've the shot of him kneeling down and what we assume
that's going to be Mark. Yeah. Mark is almost like an Indiana Jones type mercenary type guy because not Indiana Jones.
He's just a mercenary.
He's a mercenary. He's not Indiana Jones.
Mercenary, right? Yeah. He was a boxer turned mercenary turned sociopathic Moon Knight superhero.
Yes. Yeah. No, when they first announced this project, I was intrigued. I've always wanted to see what Moon Knight would look like on the big screen. And this was I was always curious to know what he was about. And I know we were talking about this too on another stream, how there's really not many comparisons to him and Batman. There aren't. But when he was created, they had Batman in mind.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain during my stream. It got lost. Can you make some similarities between Moon Knight and Batman? Sure, you could make some similarities between Sentry and Superman, but to call it Marvel's Batman, to me, no. I don't think that even has to equate.
It doesn't have to be Marvel's Batman. It was just they drew inspiration from the character. That's all it is.
Crime fighters that wear capes. Like I could find 90 other people in Marvel that do that.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't see how that's ever. That's weird to me. So I don't like that comparison.
So what I'm thinking is it's going to be a story with flashbacks of him becoming, right? I don't know. It's going to be an origin story because we're going to show how he gets. I'm assuming how he becomes this, but they might just start already him being Moon Knight.
No, this will be him remembering things of Marc Spector.
Right.
So it might start with Marc Spector's journey to become Moon Knight, and then we go into the world of Steven, and it's Steven thinking he's dormant. And then when people are trying to kill him and are coming after him, he has to piece together why. That's why he says to the girl on the phone,
why'd you call me Marc? Yeah.
So I think he's going to start to have nightmares of memories he doesn't believe are his, only to realize he was born Marc Spector. So that's why I like this. They're probably not going to go into Jake Lockley. They're probably not going to go into the fact that Steven is a billionaire, which I'm fine with. I'm completely fine with, because the whole essence of him being a billionaire, I don't really know what their future plans are for the character. So
there's another parallel to Batman and Bruce Wayne, but yeah, I don't need that. But that's Mr. Knight's persona, isn't it? Like the how do you say it? Because of how Mr. Knight is, from what you explained from what you have explained, and even what I've looked up, how he's got the white gloves, he looks more refined. Is that the higher end of Moon Knight? Is Mr. Knight?
No, it's just like it's just a flip of Moon Knight.
Okay,
it's literally just a flip of Moon Knight, really.
All right.
It just, and again, I just love the look, the character, whatever. I just love the look. The look is so beautiful.
Yeah.
But what makes Moon Knight so special, and again, another thing that's just so different from Batman, is Batman's whole thing is stealth, right? Stealth. He wants to get in, get out.
He wants to be seen.
Moon Knight's whole point of wearing white.
He wants to be seen.
So that people understand you can't stop me. You can see me coming, but there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I do like that.
He likes the look of blood on his suit. That is something he's very much a fan of. So, like I said, a lot of Moon Knight is going to be great. And look, it also does open up the door for Supernatural. Khonshu, which again, because people were asking, does he have abilities? Yes, his abilities wane with the moon.
Yes.
So whatever the moon status is what his powers are. But he does use things like, I think in the 2006 run, he had this exact same costume that looked mummified, but he had like brass knuckles. He has the crescent moon daggers that Khonshu made for him.
And that's what it looks like his suit is holding for him. Like that looks like it's housing his weapon.
You can make the case of just like Robert Pattinson's Batman with the removable
right, the gun or whatever that is. Well, no, it looks like it was guns, but he turned it into batarang.
Right. So I don't think he's gonna take that out of his chest and use it. That's supposed to just be his insignia, like Batman having the logo on his chest.
That I never heard of. I haven't heard that. Is that true? He's powerful enough to pick up a Mjolnir?
This character has been written to be OP a few times. I think there was a comic run where he took down some of the Avengers for Khonshu. Like Khonshu wanted him to take down some of the Avengers. Moon Knight's, they're not going to go that route. I can say that now. But Moon Knight is pretty powerful.
Being able to pick up Mjolnir was never about power anyway. We've known that. I mean, everybody knows that. The Hulk tried to do it. He couldn't do it. It's not about power. It's about worthiness, if he's worthy. So,
well, okay. This is why, again, I say the MCU is very dangerous to go off of, because Hulk did pick it up before, but only because he was strong enough to pick it up.
See, I just assumed that was how it was in the comics. It had to be evil worthy.
Well, no. Don't get me wrong. That is the premise.
Right.
But Hulk has picked that hammer up before. You remember how in Avengers he struggled? He was struggling. He did that in the comics, but he actually picked the thing up.
Okay.
He couldn't utilize it the way Cap did.
Okay.
But he could pick the thing up and just hit somebody with it. That's what he did when he fought Thor.
Okay.
So he did pick it up before, but not like how Cap did, where he could summon it and twirl it and whatnot and use its power. But he did pick it up before.
So you don't think, and I'm including end credit, whether it's an end credit of what do you call it, a random episode or the end of the series, you don't think we're going to see anything to do with Black Knight or Blade in this series whatsoever?
No, because the way you set up Black Knight, it would make way more sense for me to see that fallout in Blade's movie. And again, if Blade's in this, I don't know how much I like the idea of him recruiting before I even know the character. So he's building a team before I even know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
Like in theory, that makes sense. That's his whole purpose, was to assemble the Avengers. But building the Midnight Suns before you even give your audience a chance to know who Blade is.
It sounds like a DC
weird.
move. Yeah, you're right.
That's very weird to me. So if they do it, fine. But to me, it's like, I feel as though that's unnecessary. Let this show just be what it is. If you put it in, I'm not saying that if it's in there, I'll hate it. I'm just saying you're doing a lot of Blade before I even actually get to see Blade.
Okay.
Let me see Blade first, then put him in whatever you want. Thank you. Put him in whatever you want. But look, we'll have plenty of time. Doctor Strange has to figure out what's going on in his life. He's part of the Midnight Suns. We got to get Ghost Rider down the line. So again, I think me personally, I don't remember how it was in the comics, so I won't even lie to you. Part of me kind of prefers Doctor Strange to assemble the Midnight Suns.
Okay.
Than for Blade to be the one doing it. So again, I think Blade showing up in Eternals was more so his direct connection to that character, rather than like, all right, first stop is Black Knight, then it's Moon Knight, then it's May, then it's Ghost Rider. I think that's just too much doing it that way.
All right. I mean, it's also, I wasn't looking at it from a standpoint of a recruitment or whatever. I thought maybe they were going to utilize this series because there's ties between these characters, between Black Knight, Moon Knight.
That would be their
an
tie.
intro. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That would be their tie. So if he just shows up and says hello, it'll be like, well, what was that? What was that for? Black Knight, as far as we know, doesn't have his own movie or show coming anytime soon. So it's like next time would be Blade. And now you're putting all of this stuff into a Blade movie when we just need to get to know Blade. Now you're saying, all right, well, here's Blade's movie. And on top of that, we gotta cue in Moon Knight in there because we brought him in the series. And then Black Knight. To me, I kind of think you're just putting too much on it. Let's get the series Blade, and then everything will fall into place.
So then, as far as villains, as far as whoever goes, you think it's just this Arthur Harrow guy, the cult leader?
Yeah, I think there's more to him.
Yeah, there's got to be more to him because what's his power?
The character does not have power,
right?
In comics, but he also was in the comics for one issue, so they can make this whatever. They could say that that Khonshu was the good Egyptian god, and there's an evil Egyptian god, and this guy took that power.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
But I can tell you right now, he's not just a cult leader, because Marc could wake up one day, put a bullet in his head, and then that's the end of the series. So there has to be way more to it than just that.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And how many episodes are in this?
I think only 6 or 7, or maybe 8. Man. I think it might be 6. That's a lot of visuals they put in this, so it might be 6. This is probably the most visuals Marvel has done with their series. I'm trying to think. Yeah. WandaVision was all practical. Falcon and Winter Soldier was
6.
Practical.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm fine with that. That means that we're about to get 6 of the best episodes possible for Moon Knight. I
hope so. No, 6 episodes sometimes worry me. I mean, if you do it right, you do it right. But sometimes, you feel like you're pressed for time. You don't have enough to do. There's not enough time to tell out, to flesh out the story. So sometimes it feels rushed or whatever. So I just hope sometimes 6 episodes worry me. I think 8. I like 8. I also like 8 because I'm a fan and I like to watch things, but it just depends. But let's see. Hopefully they nail it. Hopefully it's good. I can't see why not. This character looks very, very interesting. A very complicated character.
I did want to say there was some misconceptions from my own group about Moon Knight that I wanted to clear up, because it seems like people that don't know Moon Knight think this. The accent isn't a thing. They made it for the show. I'm fine. Moon Knight also is not a martial artist. Throwing that out there. Moon Knight also is not Egyptian. Moon Knight is Jewish.
He's Jewish. Yeah.
There are a lot of people that think that he's Egyptian and was offended that what's his name was playing an Egyptian character instead of just getting someone Egyptian. He's not Egyptian. The character's not Egyptian. He's Jewish.
Right.
Simple as that. Now, if you want to argue about maybe finding an actual Jewish actor, I won't get into that conversation. Yeah. I'll tell you my thoughts off air. But on air, to me, I don't think it's as egregious as Scarlett Johansson playing an Asian.
Right.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what it looks like they're doing for the series is he believes that Steven is his doorman, right? So he has a job at the museum. It looks like he comes across something that he shouldn't. And it honestly looks like Khonshu is like, bro, I gave you a job to do, and you're not doing it.
Right.
Go do the job I gave you the power to do. Because in the comics, he was found in the middle of the desert, butt-ass naked, dying, when some worshippers of Khonshu found him and brought him to Khonshu. And then, of course, he went through the trials and became Moon Knight. And that's a lot of what drove the man insane. But so I like that they're starting off with Steven, and then he has to slowly remember who Mark Spector, who Mark is. And then once he figures that out, that's why I love that shot of him driving the truck, and he looks and he's like, "There's a gun in my hand. What the hell is this?" And then he kind of like just throws it. Because I kind of feel like whatever the Mark scenes are that we get, Mark's going to be a real badass. So
we've seen that too in another teaser. He beats up a bunch of people and wakes up and he's got blood on his hands.
Yes. Yep. He's in front of a whole bunch of people, and he's
just
like, what the hell?
Yeah. So we're going to see that a lot, I think. And so that's why I don't know. I didn't know if they were going to start with Mark. I thought they were going to start maybe with Steven, right? And then peel back layers like an onion to let the audience know, okay, well, this is how Mark became this, and this is how, like, and while in him remembering stuff, the audience is letting on now to how he became Moon Knight. So that's why when listener Jim asked if it was his origin story, it is, because we're going to find out how he became, but it's not going to be like, okay, it's not going to be a fleshed out origin story where it's going to be like linear, where it's like, okay, here's the very beginning, he's his Mark. So we may not even get Mark until the middle of the show. It might start out with Steve.
I don't even think that. We get Mark very early at the beginning of the trailer. There were 2 shots when he was in the bed.
Right. That's in the trailer, though. We don't know if that's how it's cut, though, the show.
But I think the way that they're doing it is at any moment's notice, he reverts back to Mark.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that triggers it. So I think you'll get Mark a lot.
Oh yeah, but you're talking about Mark in the present time. When I meant Mark, I didn't mean Mark in the present time, because he's definitely going to be jumping in and out of consciousness and whatever. I'm talking about as far as the origins of Mark, whether they're going to show him in the desert and meeting Khonshu and getting embodied by whatever he's embodied by. That's what I meant by getting that flashback.
Oh. Well, no, look, I think those flashbacks would be as early as with it. And again, I've not seen the show, so please.
No. I get it.
I'm spoiling anything. I think within the first episode, within like the first 20 to 30 minutes, we'll get that, because I think it'll be his nightmares. I think he'll be having.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He'll think that they're nightmares, but they're really memories. So I think when he's tied up, he's dreaming, and that's when we get kind of like Boba Fett, where he's he's subdued, and then we get the flashbacks of like, these are things, but instead of it being legit flashbacks, they're just memories that he thinks are nightmares. So I think we'll get that relatively quickly, just so this show can alert the audience, because it's very complicated, this character.
It is.
I don't want to let the audience know early, this is who he thinks he is, but this is who he really is. Because Marc is the actual person. Mm-hmm. These are other dormant personalities. So
at one point he's going to be trying to use that. At one point in the trailer, he uses this app to help him stay awake.
Yes.
So he doesn't even want to go to sleep. Because, and I don't know if it's more about. And the other thing is too, is it for the nightmares, or he's afraid of doing things in his sleep, almost like I want to say the Wolfman, but not. Remember how the Wolfman always wanted to be subdued or locked up in jail or something like that in the movies, because he knew when the full moon came, he would black out and do stuff that he doesn't remember doing. Mm-hmm. So him locking himself, chaining himself to the bed and stuff like that, or even putting sand to see if anything. Now I don't know if that's to see if he crossed the barrier, or if something else crossed the barrier.
I don't know.
Because he put sand to circle around his bed in one of the shots.
Right.
He even put painter's tape on the door.
Yeah, he's trying his best to stop himself from leaving. But what these people don't understand is, however you got yourself in, whenever you black out, that's probably how you're going to get yourself out. So I always laugh when people do that, when they're just like, I'm going to lock myself in the closet and tape myself up. And it's like, well, how did you plan on getting out of that tape when you woke up? Oh, I was just going to use this knife that I have here by my feet and cut it. Well, why wouldn't you think that if you blacked out, that's exactly what you would do?
Yeah, it's in your subconscious, so you're going to know what to do.
You know exactly what you're doing. So, but I think some people are just so scared they don't think of it like that. But it's like, it's you. It's not someone else jumping in you. It's you. So whatever you comes out, you know exactly what you just did. So you're going to look down and go, oh, here's the knife that I put. Slit, I'm out of it.
I had to have fun with that one part when he finds the phone in the wall. And instead, I was like, it's 2005 calling you. I only said that because that's the phone. I had that Razor phone like back in 2005.
Yep. But there's also anyone that watches any CIA or movies like that. Those are the phones that they utilize, because those phones are almost impossible to track.
Right. Okay.
So it makes
That's good to know.
That Marc, as a mercenary, have that just stowed away somewhere. Because it's an untraceable phone, a phone that probably only has like 1 or 2 numbers in it. Obviously, whoever that chick is being one of them. So I'm like, that makes sense. I like that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because in the trailer, if you put the subtitles on, she's labeled, or she's characterized as a character named Layla. And if you Google Layla, the only Layla that's pretty much mentioned in the comics is Layla Miller. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're going to go that route of Layla Miller?
I don't think we're going to get any more mutants till they introduce mutants.
All right.
I think Wanda was, because we have to remember, Wanda was never going to be a mutant in the MCU till they got they got Fox.
Yeah.
And when they got Fox, they're like, well, we got to retcon it.
Yeah, now we can.
I think people in their mind, they're like, well, we can start to see mutants everywhere. They haven't introduced mutants yet.
Except for Wanda.
But we know the reason why that was the first one that we got. Yeah. So I'm like, to introduce mutants everywhere else but an X-Men movie, very unlikely.
All right. Well, no. So, here's the thing. The reason why I say that is because you got the Multiverse of Madness coming out. You still have that House of M storyline that they could pull from, at one point. And if Layla Miller has such a huge role in the House of M, that's why I thought maybe they were trying to lay the groundwork here. Maybe not. She's not a character that's going to come out in the forefront and then be all mutant-like in this series itself, because there's way too much going on for six episodes.
But Wanda created her.
Right. No, I know that. She's the one that created her as a failsafe. I get it.
Right.
But I don't know. It could just be her name is Layla. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what my mindset was.
Right.
Just Layla.
Just Layla.
We like to look into things, but Marvel has a way of showing us that none of those things ever matter.
They're in England. It could have been the Layla that Eric Clapton wrote this song for.
I doubt that.
It's not. It's not. We already know who that the Layla is, so it's definitely not that. All right. Cool stuff. Anything else stand out? Anything else you want to talk about for the listeners?
Look, I love that he has white eyes. I only pray that Batman has white eyes in the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
White eyes is just the
Hey,
most
he had
beautiful aesthetic.
technically he had the white eyes in Batman vs Superman when he had the armor suit.
No.
Do you bleed?
No. I need my white suit in my actual Batman.
Hopefully Mark doesn't ask. I'm hoping Mark doesn't ask Layla that. Tell me, do you bleed?
Her answer would probably be the same answer that Batman said. You will. And she's like, yeah, no, I will.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. No, actually tomorrow. How'd you know? How'd you know
my cycle? That's crazy.
Well, he's moon cycles. Cycle in the moon.
I don't think those two equate.
Okay.
But no, I'm very excited for this series. Moon Knight is the first step of the mystic elements, the more darker mystic element. So I'm very excited. Blade is not too far away. Not too far away. So.
You think to tease Blade without actually showing Blade, any references or maybe even visuals of vampires?
I don't know. Again, if Blade is your introduction to vampires, it should probably just start with Blade.
Okay.
You know, it gets too, because then it's like, well, if he's out here fighting, because again, what a lot of people also don't know is Blade is supposed to be British. So it would make the most sense that Blade is in London.
Right. So he's right next door. Why wouldn't Blade come and help out? And by the way, I'm Blade, mate. And then that's it.
Kevin Feige, he spoke to that and he said, I'm never a fan of that. Unless it's an actual team up movie, I'm never a fan of like, all right, well, Spider-Man's in New York City and he's in trouble. So that has to mean Luke Cage is going to come save him, right? And Daredevil and Jessica. That's
you would
not
think
how it works.
You would think that motherfucker Spider-Man was literally fucking webbing right above Kate Bishop.
I will never forget when Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer came out, and that whole end scene, that whole end fight scene. I'll never forget leaving the theater, and the two guys that were sitting in front of me and my dad were like, "I don't understand why Spider-Man didn't come out and help them." And I remember looking at my dad going, "They do know they sat down for Fantastic Four movie, right? Like this wasn't Avengers, this wasn't Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. It's the whole point is for the Fantastic Four to save the day. If Spider-Man comes in, then now it's a team up movie. It's not just the Fantastic Four."
But can you hold on a second though, really quick? Can you blame their thinking a little? Because you have something like a Galactus, like event. I don't even like calling it Galactus. It was a fucking cloud, but you got a cloud that's literally about to eat the Earth. But it's, its main focus is what were they in New York at that point? No, they weren't even in New York.
They were in China or Hong Kong.
Right. They were on the Pacific coast.
Yes.
So why the fuck would Spider-Man be there?
If they were in New York, it wouldn't have made sense for Spider-Man to be there.
I don't know. Here you have your friendly neighborhood Spidey, and there's a huge like cataclysmic event happening. It wouldn't be plausible that Spider-Man wouldn't show up.
It would be. We just saw an entire Eternals movie that Doctor Strange didn't show up for. And you tell me he didn't notice that? He didn't notice that kind of power level?
But that's my point. To me, those are plot holes, though, too.
That's not a plot hole. The movie is called Eternals. I don't need anybody else saving the day but the Eternals. This wasn't supposed to be a huge paragon shift of a battle that I need to bring in all the Avengers or some of the Avengers. When Batman
is apprehending like some thug in an alley, you're not going to get other DC heroes to help. Well, especially the other thing is too, Batman is literally just in Gotham. And I understand not going by how they depicted Metropolis and Gotham being just separated by a bridge, but Gotham was being held, being guarded by Batman himself. So maybe that's a wrong analogy. But when you have places like New York that have certain heroes that are based in there, now that's not to say that they're always in New York. There are superheroes that have other things to do, I'm assuming. But it is a little weird when you have not street level gangs, like not like a Kingpin. A Kingpin, I wouldn't say as, Daredevil needs help doing anything with Kingpin or anything like that, right? But when you do have like these Avengers level threats now, we can call them, because that's what their name that they're given now in the MCU. It would make sense for crossovers more. I think it was more budgetary reasons, or maybe even copyright reasons, or not copyright.
No, I give you a perfect example. We just saw a Spider-Man movie where, spoiler alert, but it's been out for over a month. Matt Murdock shows up. At no point did he suit up to go help Spider-Man in New York.
Yeah.
It's a Spider-Man movie. The whole point is for Spider-Man to save the day. Even Doctor Strange wasn't fighting the villains with Spider-Man, because the whole point is, if he does that, then what was the whole point of Spider-Man? Like, don't call the movie Spider-Man then. You know what I'm saying? It's why we keep saying Captain America wasn't a Captain America movie. It was an Avengers movie.
Yeah, Civil War you're talking about, right? Yeah. Civil War was literally,
But Civil War is, to your point, all this craziness going on. Can all the Avengers come and help, or some of them come and help? Well, when that happens, it's now not a Captain America story.
But it was still called the Captain America movie.
As we know, was complete bullshit. No true fan ever goes, yeah, I love how they did that Captain America arc. It was an Avengers movie, bro. That was their way of doing an Avengers level threat. An Avengers level story without calling it an Avengers movie. But at no point were you just like, this is just all about Steve. You got Tony's story in there, T'Challa's story in there, Peter's story in there, and you're telling me it's a Cap movie? Come on.
I don't know. I just feel like it's certain threats I can entertain the idea of crossovers. I can.
If those threats are big enough, then you make it a crossover, not a singular.
Okay.
Not a singular.
All right. The rise of Silver Surfer, in that regard, and then just using that one example because that's what we brought up, the fact that Galactus was coming to eat the Earth, I would credit that as an event level threat. And
I get you, but once you see how that movie ends, it was always meant for the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four to be what stopped Galactus. Yeah. Galactus wasn't even nearly as strong.
No, we know that.
Should have been.
We know that.
That's why when Dormammu pops up and Doctor Strange just talks his way out of it, I didn't get upset. You clearly weren't meaning for Dormammu to be as powerful as he should be. So I can suspend the belief of, well, I just talked my way out of it. Silver Surfer just rode through a cloud and exploded it. Like, I can understand that better than you telling me a Fantastic Four story where they're supposed to be getting through this whole arc by themselves. You now have Spider-Man whipping in. Like, then don't call it Fantastic Four. Call it Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this: if in the comics, if Fantastic Four had to fight Galactus off, which has happened, did they do it by themselves or were team ups?
It depends. There were different iterations where they would just work with the Silver Surfer. But anytime they would fight Galactus, it was an event. It wasn't just like issue 14, Galactus just showed up. Like, no, it never happened.
Well, and that's what we're assuming at one point. If they go that route, Galactus is going to be the next, almost like Thanos, the event building up to whatever. Right. So that would make sense. Why, when we finally get to that, we're probably going to have like the ultimate team up,
a crossover, right?
So
it won't just be Fantastic Four trying to fight this big ass giant monster,
right? Which it's pretty much confirmed. John Krasinski is Reed Richards, right?
No, and especially with the rumors trying to pass it off as
Christian Holoff. I don't know. Christian Holoff said it's confirmed.
That's what any scooper right now is saying that. But the rumor is that he's a variant.
I know.
That's the stupidest shit ever. Why would
I know, because we're talking about because we're going to see it, and that's exactly what I thought. I thought, all right, well, if he's coming, and I didn't even hear the variant part. Honestly, it wasn't. I'm just saying this now. This is how I felt when I first heard it. Because it's rumored to happen in Multiverse of Madness. I'm like, yeah, he probably might show up. He might be suited up as Reed Richards, but it's probably only going to be because that's what fans wanted. He's probably not going to be the Reed Richards we're going to get in the MCU. He's probably just going to be from another dimension.
Well, no, I think if John Krasinski is in this movie, there was a rumor that came out a month and a half ago that they've already casted one of the Fantastic Four.
Right. So but it could just be for Doctor Strange too, and not for the MCU.
if he's in this movie, that means they've already casted him for the MCU's.
I'm all right with that.
Reed Richards. To me, Feige knows better. Feige just knows better. Feige saw what we went through with the Mandarin. How the fuck would you do that again? Why would you bring in old Reed Richards, then a new Reed Richards, and then go, hey, I know you guys like seeing that one back. I know you guys wanted this one, but guess what? We casted someone else. You're going to see a third Reed Richards.
There were also rumors we were going to get Ian again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Ian is the old one.
Yeah.
Then the rumor of the new one.
Oh, when you said old, I thought you meant John Krasinski because he's old.
No. I meant old like the original one.
Gotcha, I understand.
Then John's, and then you're telling us you're going to cast a whole new one for the.
Yeah. That's
way too much. No. Because I tell you right now, fans will never accept who you cast if it's not John. Especially if they see John and it's like, oh, that looks great. And then you're like, well, guess what? That ain't it.
Yeah. I was just
accept who you're next.
That was just fan service. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not how fan service works. Fan service, the way you do fan service is Daredevil showing up to Matt Murdock showing up to showing up on Peter's behalf to be his lawyer. That's
gotcha. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
Fan service isn't going, hey guys, we brought Charlie Cox back just for this movie, but in the MCU going forward, we're casting a whole new Daredevil.
Yeah, I agree.
People will go, wait, what? But you got
so if the rumors are true, I do hope that is the route they're going then. Okay.
I promise you it is. If it's a variant, I might not have any interest in Marvel going forward because I'll think Kevin Feige's losing it. I think he's pulling a Bill Belichick. He's just losing. Right? He's just been doing it for too long.
Hey, he's pulling it off of Moon Knight. Those white eyes. Watch out.
Those beautiful eyes, man. I tell you.
Just over 2 months to go, guys. March 30th. It drops on Disney Plus. What day is that? Wednesday?
It has to be a Wednesday. That's where all their shows have been so far. Yeah,
right. So that's what I thought. Yes, because March 14th is a Monday. 21st is a Tuesday. 28th, not Tuesday. 21st, 28th is a Monday. 30th is Wednesday. Yes.
And we just got the rumor that Kenobi will be released on May 4th.
That's what everybody pretty much thought. It makes sense. It's Star Wars Day. Also, the original Star Wars was released on May 4th. So
right. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Perfect sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm okay with that. I like that. Okay. So we got Moon Knight, and then right after that, we'll lead pretty much right into Kenobi.
Well, yeah. Well, also don't forget Moon Knight leads into Doctor Strange if we're keeping it Marvel.
Right. Doctor Strange is late May though, no?
It's pretty early on in May.
Yeah.
Maybe like May 14th or something like that.
All right. No, but I'm just saying as far as entertainment goes, as far as keeping our beaks wet.
Gotcha.
Keeping our beaks wet. We going right from Moon Knight into Kenobi, and then movie-wise, Doctor Strange comes out just shortly after that. Right. All right. Good stuff. All right, guys. Stay tuned for, I guess, at one point this week, later on this week, maybe Friday. I don't know. I got to figure it out. Got Book of Boba Fett episode 4 spoiler review coming out. Episode 4 of Peacemaker at one point. And then, of course, on Monday, we got the divisional round of the playoffs of the NFL, which is happening this weekend. We're going to be doing the recap of that on Monday Morning Quarterback. And then, of course, talking about our conference championship games picks. So that's all on my channel. Jawan, you got your I almost said MCR. Your Galactic review tonight?
Yes, for Book of Boba. Yep, tonight at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Anything else coming up this week on your channel?
Nope, just that so far.
All right, guys. You can find a link to Jawan's YouTube channel in the description of this stream. Please go follow him. Listen to Jim. Thanks for joining us, asking questions and talking to us, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you do, please give us a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to this channel if you're not already. Stay tuned for more content, and that'll be all, guys. Enjoy your upcoming weekend, and I will see you.